Hello, cherished learners. Welcome to EMS Basic Lessons. In our previous episode, we learned how to add and subtract mixed fractions with different denominators. In today's lesson, we are learning how to convert fractions to decimals. It's very simple. Let's start. First example, we are looking at 11 out of 5. 11 out of 5. To convert this fraction to decimal, we need to use the long division method. And by the long division method, we introduce the long division symbol. We have two parts of the long division symbol, the outer part and the inner part. Please note, the numerator is always written inside the long division symbol. The numerator, which is 11, is always written inside the long division symbol. And the denominator is always written outside the long division symbol. I'll repeat myself again. The numerator is written inside the long division symbol, and the denominator is written outside the long division symbol. Now, to solve this simple question, I'm going to give you a very simple method to solve it. The first method to solve it is to divide. First divide, second multiply, and then third subtract. So we have divide, multiply, subtract. There are other methods, but as we move ahead, we are going to look at those methods. So in this instance, we look at 11 divided by 5. We look at mathematically 11 divided by 5. But popularly, we can say that, let's look at how many times will 5 go into 11. How many times will this 5 go into the 11? So we say 5, 1, 5, 5, 2, 10. If we continue, we will get a number which is more than 11. Therefore, 5 will go into 11 2 times. There will be a remainder, but don't pay attention to the remainder. So we have 5 go into 11 2 times. We are done with the divide side. What do we do next? The next one is to multiply. And we multiply the 2 at the top by the 5. So we have 2 times 5 giving us 10. The 10 is written just under the 11. Just under the 11. Please pay attention to ones, tens, hundreds. Please pay attention to it. Then the next one we do is to subtract. So subtract, we have our line down place. At every 2 steps we subtract. At every 2 steps we subtract. Please, are we here? Let's go on. So we have 1 minus 0 is 1. Is 1. Then 1 minus 1 is 0. You can choose to write dash or 0 itself. You can choose to write 1 dash or 0 itself. Now, we look at the number. We now have our new question here. As the number of times 5 will go into 1. It's not possible. 5 can never go into 1. So we introduce a decimal point at where our answer is. Since 5 cannot go into 1, we introduce a decimal point at where our answer is. Anytime you introduce a decimal point at where the answer is, introduce a 0 at where the question is. This is our new question. Please don't forget. We are done with this. Anytime you introduce a decimal point, don't forget to introduce a 0. So we now have 10. So let's look at the number of times 5 will go into 10. Let's start. 5, 1, 5. 5, 2, 10. So yes, we have 2 here. We are done with divide. We are coming back to multiply. 2 times 5 is what? 10. After every 2 steps, what do? You subtract. You subtract. So we have 0 minus 0, 0. 1 minus 1, 0. We are done. and it's very simple. Let's look at our second example. Second example, we have 14 out of 4. 14 out of 4. We draw our long division symbol. Please, the denominator, which is 4, is always written outside, and the numerator, which is 14, is written inside. What must we do first? We are supposed to look at the number of times the 4 will go into, we pick the first one, the first with the 1. The first numeral, the 4 will go into the 1. 4 cannot go into 1. And there is another number after it, which is 4. So we join the 4 to the 1, giving us 14. So we work with the 14. We look at the number of times the 4 will go into 14. So let's start by reading our multiplication timetable. 414, 428, 4312. If we are to continue, we will cross 14, so we end at 12. This means that 4 will go into 14 3 times. Then we come to multiply. 3 times 4, 12. Please don't forget, after every 2 stages, you subtract. You subtract. So we have 4 minus 2, which gives us 2. 1 minus 1, which gives us 0. Now, we start the process again. How many times will 4 go into 2? 4 cannot go into 2. So what should we do? We introduce a decimal point to where our answer is. Anytime you introduce a decimal point to where your answer is, introduce a 0 to where the question is. Don't forget, this too is our new question. So we now have 20. How many times will 4 go into 20? Let's go. 414, 428, 4312, 4416, 4520. Exactly. Woo! We are on it. So 4 will go into 20 5 times. We multiply. 5 times 4, 20. We have 2 steps, so we subtract. Yeah. 0 minus 0, 0. 2 minus 2, 0. And we are done. Very simple. Example, we have 1 out of 2. 1 out of 2. We introduce our long division sign or symbol. The denominator is always out. That is the 2. And the numerator inside the symbol. What do we do first? We look at the number of times the 2 will go, the outside number will go into the inner numeral. So how many times will 2 go into 1? It is not possible. It will never go. So what do? Since it will never go, and there is no number here to join it to the 1 to give us a bigger number, which is bigger than 2, what do? We introduce a decimal point. A decimal point here. Anytime you introduce the decimal point at where your answer is supposed to be, you introduce a 0 to the question. Please, are we getting it? So we have 10 now. So how many times will 2 go into 10? 2 will go into 10. Let's go. 212, 224, 236, 248, 2510. So 2 will go to 10 5 times. So 5 times 2, giving us 10. We have 2 steps, so subtract. 1, 0 minus 0, 0. 1 minus 1, 0. And we are done. But here, since there is no number before the decimal point, then we put 0 there, because nothing means 0. 0 means nothing. So we have our final answer to be 0.5. I hope we are clear with it. Let's look at our fourth example. We have our non-division symbol. The denominator always out, the numerator in. So we begin with 2. The number of times 5 will go into 2. 5 cannot go into 2. So we add the 1 to it, making it 21. How many times will 5 go into 21? Let's go. 5 1 5. 5 2 10. 5 3 15. 5 4 20. 5 in 21 gives us 4. We have 4 times 5, which is what? 20. After every 2 steps, subtract. So we have 1 minus 0 give us 1. 2 minus 2 give us 0. You can choose to write 0 or dash. Now, this is our new question. Can 5 go into 1? No. So we introduce a decimal point and a 0. So can 5 go into 10? Yes. How many times? 2 times. 2 times 5. 10. We subtract 0, 0. And we are done. Therefore, 21 out of 5 is equal to 4.2. This is fraction and this is decimal. Brings us to the end of the lesson for the day. I hope you really enjoyed it. Kindly help a friend by sharing the video or the YouTube channel to all your friends you know. I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell so that anytime I post a new video, you'll be the first to have it. Cheers. All the best.